you can't have a society where you've got some people with so much and some people with so little,
So little,
because
yeah.
because then things like this are always going to happen.
And that's the thing as well, isn't it? It's like if everyone was a bit more balanced in terms of their welfare and their position, then people would be less likely to be at risk. We've discussed this on previous episodes before, but I was looking at it in terms of individuals that come from a lower socio-economic background have
Yeah.
a higher likelihood of having cardiorespiratory disorders, having asthma, suffering from disorders like stress or hypertension or more likely to smoke. Yeah, a lot of these aspects that can maybe not back pain directly associated with it, but a lot of things that can be associated with if you had these conditions and you got COVID, then the likelihood of you actually getting a serious or critical condition of this disorder is highly increased.
But that all boils down to the fact that the lower class people have lower class jobs, and those lower class jobs put them at risk of catching, like, you're a builder or something, you're bound to, breathe in some gases or things like that. Like you're in construction, you're bound to breathe in something, or, which can give you pneumonia. And then after that, you've got diseases you can't, especially in like countries where there's not of equal health like system, then
we're fortunate.
We're fortunate in England, but people who can't afford to pay their medical bills, those people are just screwed. Like there's nothing for them. There's no opportunity. They've got pneumonia, they catch COVID, they die, their whole family dies. It's just wiping out the poor. Rich people can pay for these sort of things. Rich people can pay for treatment and medicine.
Sticky, you getting into some sort of conspiracy theory here.
All I'm saying is that Prince Philip has got COVID-19 and he's not fucking dead.
No, all I'm saying is he died in the summer and they're just carting around his dead body. That's what I think.
Well, like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of deal.
Prince Charles has got COVID-19. He's not dead, right? Why isn't he fucking dead? He's in the age gap where he should be dying. And Prince Philip died 6 months ago, and no one's talking about it. No one is talking about. Right? Hear me out. Like 2 weeks ago, my sister sent me this thing about like this woman who works in Buckingham Palace, right? And she said, "Oh, really sad today. Prince Philip died." Right, I was like, what? That's not on the news. So I looked on Twitter, hashtag Prince Philip death. Loads and loads of people tweeting about Prince Philip being dead, right? Like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, what? My sister was like, yeah, they'll probably just put it on the news like in a few days or something after the COVID-19 thing. Because it was literally like the day the lockdown happened. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Like it'll be on the news in a few days. 2 weeks later, he's still not announced dead. I know he's dead for a fact, mate. He hasn't been seen in weeks.
Fuck.
He hasn't been seen in weeks.
Really?
But
saying that. No one's been seen in weeks. I ain't seen my boys in weeks. What do you mean?
The homies. In like weeks, he hasn't been seen, right? And all those tweets got deleted. And I saw them myself. I promise you, I saw them.
Fuck.
Wow.
But honestly, we're living in a crazy time. Everything's being controlled. The Queen made that speech, right? You could tell someone was wrong. I reckon Philip's dead.
I don't know. It's a very, very strange.
You heard it here first, guys.
Kind of
Tea House Settings. Prince Philip died weeks ago. We know that.
It's written in the stars. But no, mate, there's literally so much stuff, and if you look at anything, it's very hard to say that coincidences are just coincidences in this day and age. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like everything's probably fucking manipulated in one way, shape, or form to be able to benefit one individual over another, or benefit one millionaire over another millionaire. It's a world that we live in. We were talking about before. Me and Will were talking about it's a capitalist world that we live in.
I was there, by the way. I was talking about it as well. He just didn't answer me. But it is a capitalist world.
What were you saying?
That I can't remember what I said, or maybe I'll have to listen back to the tape. But basically, Will was saying how capitalism is like was the best choice, and 20 years ago couldn't be lefty. But I fully agree to that. But Will, do you think that a socialist society would work in Great Britain?
It depends how you would define a socialist society. Like I think personally for me, socialism is such a broad kind of spectrum. Like basically anything on the left wing side of the spectrum could be classed as socialist, because it's supposed to be kind of like an amalgamation of capitalism with a strong welfare state. That's kind of how you would describe it. So in terms of, you've got some aspects of communism in there, which would be like nationalized ownership. So you would have like, well, even for example, if you want to look at the national healthcare system, that is technically a socialist institution, because it's a government owned institution that is not run for profit, and anything that is outside of that would be capitalist. So for me, at least, I think a socialist society in Britain wouldn't even be that different. Like, I'm not talking about some communist utopia where
of course not. Yeah.
where
Whereas,
there's
like in
there's
Finland
no
and places
brand
like that,
variety.
there's a lot of countries in the world that are socialist that work absolutely fine. I mean, Finland is socialist. I think another Scandinavian country is as well. That they seem to work brilliantly. And I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Finland, like months at a time working and stuff.
Yeah.
And people in Finland love life, and they're deemed to be the happiest people on earth. I mean, even though
I've seen that.
It's a very weird society, don't get me wrong, and they all love to like go naked in the saunas together, and they've got some funny, like, you know, they are different type of people, but definitely they are very happy to be peaceful, and I feel like that socialism brings them peace, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I look at a lot of it in terms of the happiest countries, or it seems like the people from the happiest countries in the world are the ones that don't get as involved in foreign affairs.
Definitely.
If you know what I mean.
You know, in Bhutan, which is like a place near India, they base their like not off of profit, like their yearly income is not off of money or like success, it's off happiness. They've got like a happiness factor that they base the society off of. It's like really high in the mountains.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Bhutan. Wow. It's the happiest place on earth. And you know, you have like I can't remember what it's called, but like per everyone who lives in the country, basically you do like an average of wages and salary and stuff, like to see how wealthy the country is in every country per capita. Yeah, but in that country they do it off of how happy every household is.
Oh, really? That's actually very, very interesting. The
country is called Bhutan. I'll just double check the spelling for you.
It's crazy. I'll have to look into that. I've honestly never heard anything about that. That's mental.
But
Bhutan is a Buddhist kingdom in the Himalayas. Eastern edge is known for its monasteries, fortresses, or dzongs, dramatic landscape that range from subtropic plains. So it's right at the top of the Himalayas, basically. It's
But mate, that's the thing. If you look at a lot of, when I've kind of been looking at ancient civilizations and understanding the plight of the people that are from those, it seems like a recurring theme is money wasn't as important as what it is in today's society, but respect. Something that you can't buy. Happiness as well, something that you can't really buy. You can buy things that make you happy, but initially you have to be happy within yourself to push it forward. And that's the kind of the thought process that they kind of had in these ancient societies, where the most rich people weren't the people that had the most money, but it was the people that earned the respect of everyone else.
So in Bhutan it's called, no, you're right, Sonny, and I feel like this adds to it. In Bhutan, it's called the gross national happiness, which is a philosophy that guides the government of Bhutan. It includes an index which is used to measure the collective happiness and well-being of the population. Gross net happiness is instituted as the goal of the government in Bhutan since 2008.
Wow. Do you think if they introduced that into a Western culture or introduced it into England, for example, do you think it would work?
I don't think so, because the thing is, this Bhutan is such a small nation in the mountains. I mean, it's just totally different. I don't think people in Bhutan watch Netflix, you know. I don't think people in Bhutan do like, you know, I don't think they do things that we do. So I feel like they don't have much, like households don't have electricity, or they don't feel like they have internet connection. I don't feel like most of them watch telly. So I feel like they're a very small nation who are probably very, very close to one another. And there's probably a big sense of community and collectivism. And, you know, just, I'm sure it's the kind of place where they sit down at night and tell stories to one another, you know. Like, I don't think they get involved, like you said, with national affairs. Like, you know, so maybe that's the reason to its success. Also, I feel like it's very religious and very Buddhist, you know. So
they follow kind of a stricter guideline of the way they should.
It's almost
live.
like that whole country is one. you know. Whereas,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's
that's
how
the
it
thing.
feels like anyway.
That's what I like. Sorry. I was just gonna say that's what I like about religion almost. It's kind of like as much as religion can be manipulated and fucked over in different areas or different circumstances, it has a fundamental of bringing people together and a fundamental basis of unity and oneness.
Definitely.
That something there's more than yourself in this world, and some people kind of use other things like in today's society. If you're